Hey, what's going on, people? This is the Hoops Guru for B Street Sports, and we're back. The NBA is right around the corner, and that being the case, I think it's time that we go through all the teams in the NBA and see how they're going to stack up for the upcoming season. As we know, there are two teams that everybody's vying for that are on the top of the mountain right now. One is the ring-bearing Cleveland Cavaliers, salute, and we also got the infamous, the team everybody's gonna love to hate or hate to love or wherever the case may be, the Golden State Warriors, who did the coup and grabbed Kevin Durant, who I guess wanted to find easier pastures on his path to a championship. So those are two different. You got two kings in each conferences that look like they're having a collision course that everybody thinks is going to happen when this season culminates. But until then, we got to go through all these other teams because there's a possibility, even if it's slim, they don't make it. There's quality teams I know for sure I'm going to be watching on NBA League Pass, and I think that it's really going to be impressive and fun to watch. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start in the Atlantic Division, and we're going to talk about the Boston Celtics. Yeah, the Boston Celtics. This team won 48 games last year, to a lot of people's surprise. One thing you can say about this team is that they're coached very well. Brad Stevens is a monster. He came, out of Butler, and he's taken his team by storm. 48 wins was really impressive when you look up and down this roster. And the fact that they have Isaiah Thomas as their all-star last year, you got to say he's really worked with what they have. Nobody else is a household name, really, or even on the cusp of being an all-star. So in that regard, you really have to tip your hat to what Brad Stevens has done. But over the offseason, the Boston Celtics had made some great key additions. One, they were able to get Al Horford, quality perennial all-star center, very cerebral, works hard, a great addition to any team. They also got the number 3 pick, I believe, in the draft is Jaylen Brown. I don't know for sure what that means for this particular roster, as he's a small forward, and I kind of like what they have in Jay Crowder. They brought back Gerald Green after all these years. He's been around the world, but came back to the team that originally drafted him. And when his head's on straight, i.e. if he's playing for money, he's a good player. Still extremely athletic, has a good shot when he's rolling. Quality guy. He just got to get out of his own way and learn to be what a professional really is. And I think this guy could really make some money and make a name for himself when it's all said and done. So those additions right there may be able to move the needle for this team, but I don't know for sure how much, for the simple fact this team can't shoot. And in this NBA, you need some shooters, especially some knockdown three-point shooting. Last year, this team was 24th in the league in field goal percentage, and they were even worse in three-point percentage at 28th rank in the league. So what? Third from the bottom. That's just not going to get the job done. And it proved positive in the playoffs because what happened? They packed the paint and basically didn't allow Isaiah Thomas to get to the hole and dared everybody else to beat him on the perimeter. And it just really hurt them as far as making any noise in the playoffs. We know they're going to be rock solid as far as defense is concerned. That's always going to be there. They're always going to be properly coached. But I just think even though they made this addition of Al Horford, I think they need a player on the wing that's a perennial all-star or someone that's on the cusp that can really move the needle, that is a household name, i.e. even if they took a flyer on someone like Rudy Gay, I think would be great on that team. Or if somehow they could put together a package and try to steal Gordon Hayward, that would be a fantastic addition to this team. Teamed up with Isaiah Thomas and Al Horford, that would be something that could definitely move the needle and can move them into title contention against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Because you're going to need a scorer that can get you, I think, around 20 points a game from that wing position. And then also I look at this roster, they got to make some decisions as well. I was big on James Young out of college. I really was. I thought he was going to be something good in this league, but it just hasn't panned out. I thought maybe it was Brad Stevens at first didn't want to play the young guy, but maybe he hasn't developed. Maybe he's not taking the game seriously. I don't know. I thought he may have had the potential to even play like a big point guard, but that doesn't seem like it's the case. So anybody that's maybe more familiar with the Boston Celtics, please feel free to hit me up in the comment section and give me some feedback on why you think a player like James Young hasn't made any progress on the Celtics, or is he even going to be retained on the roster? You know, because like I said, this team won 48 games, and honestly, the way they're situated right now, it's hard for me to say that they'll win more than that. I think they can possibly get up to 52 because of Al Horford's hustle and desire alone, mixed with the experience these guys had last year. And, Brad Stevens is just going to get better with what he does. And especially if they have a healthy Kelly Olynyk, Amir Johnson, maybe now playing with Al Horford, can also become a person that can maybe tap into his potential, because he's a pretty athletic guy, but I didn't even see him in the playoffs. If he was hurt or something, let me know, because I don't remember him making any impressions on the game. So the Boston Celtics, I say for sure, lock them in the playoffs. They should be battling Toronto for that Atlantic Division title. And honestly, I think they can take the title from Toronto, take the truth. I think they took a little bit of dings in their roster as well, roster that may bring them down to earth. And I think the Boston's with a little more experience, in addition to Al Horford, can, even though I think they're 48 could be the low point that they match, but I think the team could go as high as maybe 53 wins for the season coming in, and maybe making it to the second round or possibly battling Cleveland for the conference title. So Boston Celtics fans, you should be happy. You got a well-coached team, but you do need some additions to be better than where you are right now. That's for sure. Don't go thinking there's going to be another banner hanging in that ceiling with what you have right now. But if Danny Ainge is able to add one more player from that wing position, you guys just maybe possibly playing in late May. I'm not going to say June yet. But for now, hey, thanks for checking us out. We're going to be going through all the NBA teams. Click that subscribe button so you'll be able to check the latest video. And also, just be a fan. Leave a comment. Love you guys. Peace.